To ask, what are you doing here?
Well, I'm just sitting on my ass basically, watching Hara work.
Hara's working? Ah, yeah. I think he's the only one who is working.
I'm trying out. To do it. Well, I'm experimenting with different positions from which one would shit, because there's a whole, obviously, as a toilet maker, I need to know these things.
Ah, you are a toilet maker?
Yeah, I'm a toilet maker, so I'm trying out this position, which is a pretty good one.
So should I understand that this is a toilet?
This is called the traditional squat. Yeah, that's the toilet. This is called the traditional squat. But there are other methods of squatting too.
Please try to use very usual words, because I need to translate all these videos. So I want to translate it very well for Romanian.
Okay, well, if you have any questions, just ask me. But this is the traditional squat, and this squat is called the elevated traditional squat.
Yes.
And where you might use this squat, for example, is if there's a lot of where are these stinging nettles that they fucking hurt? These things. No, not that.
Not that. Yes, yes.
Find it.
I know
You might use the elevated traditional squat when you don't want to sting your ass. Or, for example, when else might you use it?
Hey, wait. So should I understand you are a really good specialist in toilet making, or just in shitting, or
mostly shitting, mostly shitting and farting. But I'm trying to expand my skill set.
Okay.
So I'm moving from the traditional squat to the elevated traditional squat. We have a European invention, which this is called the seated squat, and it's not really even a squat, it's just sitting down.
Ah.
And well,
and why should we be so high when we use the toilet? We can just, I don't know, make a hole in the earth, and
you could, but sometimes people can't be fucked making a hole in the earth every time they want to take a shit. So we make a big thing like this for them, so they can run outside, they can take a shit, and they don't really have to do anything.
And this thing have a name, or?
This?
Yes.
In Australia, it's called a dunny.
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 And maybe you know what's the name in Europe for this thing?
A toilet?
Yeah, I think it's a toilet. I
think it's called a toilet in Europe.
A toilet, okay. So it's interesting. Should we talk about this toilet, or?
Yes.
Why?
Well, what would you like to know?
First, who are you? I know who are you. Maybe let's know the visitors know who are you.
So my name's Christian.
Why? It's not important. But it could be also Muslim, no?
No.
It's just Christian.
No, it's just Christian.
Okay.
My name's Christian. I build toilets, or at least now I do. And this is a dry toilet.
This is a dry toilet.
Yes, this is a dry toilet. And
why is dry? Because it's never raining in the toilet, or why is dry?
Yeah, basically it's dry because nothing inside. It's a 2-chamber toilet actually. Here's one chamber and here's another one, which is exactly the same.
Whoa, 2 chamber. Why did you hide one of these chambers? It's not.
So it's the same, and there's a divider down the middle.
Okay.
And
let's have a look. Maybe people want to see that you are not joking. You already used this toilet.
Yes, we have. So you can see there's a bottle there, or half of a bottle.
Yes.
That's where the urine goes.
Okay.
And the shit goes down here into this chamber.
So actually this is a dry toilet because the urine is going in a different place.
Yeah, that's one of the things that makes it a dry toilet. So the idea of a dry toilet is that the shit has a chance to be completely dry, and at the end of the process, this process takes about 6 to 12 months. At the end of the process, the shit in there will be completely dry, and when it has been dry for a sufficient length of time, all of the pathogens inside that we normally find inside shit, diseases and bacteria, viruses, etc., that might be inside shit, will be dead.
Okay.
So the idea is that you kill all of the dangerous microorganisms in the shit by drying it and letting it stay dry for a long time. And it's just like any living thing. If you deprive it of water for long enough, it will die.
So just before to tell us more detail, I understand that it's a difference between this kind of toilet and the other one, what normally we call it compost toilet. What's the difference? This is the only one difference, that the urine is separated. It's the only one difference.
Okay, so there are several different types of ecological toilets.
Yes.
And, you know, this is one of them, and a compost toilet, you could say, is a different type of ecological toilet. And some compost toilets separate the urine, and some compost toilets don't separate the urine. But the main difference is that the process, which is, you know, the process which happens to the shit is different. In a dry toilet, in both of them, in a compost toilet and in a dry toilet, you finish with something that you can fertilize your garden with. You finish with like a good quality soil that you can put on your garden. The difference is that in a compost toilet, the shit gets transformed into compost through the composting process, and that process requires a certain level of moisture so that microorganisms can eat the shit and turn it into compost. So like worms and funguses and bacteria and insects and all that. That's how compost normally works. And for compost, you need water. It needs to have a certain amount of temperature so that process, because it's a living process.
That's right.
So sometimes you separate some of the urine, but sometimes you don't, because the urine can sometimes keep the level of moisture that you want it. But in this toilet, it's not a living process, it's not a composting process, it's just a drying process.
And where is going the liquid, the urine?
So the urine receptacle has a tube that comes down here, out here, and out the
beer
wall.
bottle, and you sell it like a beer.
Well, normally it wouldn't be a beer bottle, but we just didn't find anything better.
Okay.
And this is from the other one.
The other chamber, yes. The people should know that we didn't finish already the toilet. And I see this white bottle.
Thing, that's supposed to be a fly trap. I don't know if it's going to work because there's light coming in through the back, but the general idea is that this is one of the only points of light that enters the chamber. So if there are any flies inside, they'll see the light, they'll come towards it, they'll fly inside the bottle, and then they'll just get lost.
Okay.
And they'll eventually die.
And you put this chimney because in the winter we can make fire in the toilet, or why is this chimney?
Okay, so if you come around the back, I'll show you. In order for the shit to dry, there needs to be a good flow of air through the toilet. So the air comes in through this vent here. You might be able to see the divider down the middle between the two chambers, but anyway, the air comes in through here, and then it gets sucked up through this chimney, and it comes out the top.
Yes.
The reason why the chimney is so long is, one, so that if there's any unpleasant smell, it's up there, it's not down here.
I understand.
And the other reason is because you need to have a proper
ventilation.
You need to have proper air pressure so that you can have there needs to be more pressure. There needs to be more pressure pushing in here and sucking up there.
Yes.
So if the pipe is high, one reason is that it gets a chance to heat up in the sun, and that's why it's black. And the hot air will rise, and it will create pressure in here, sucking air through the hole.
Yes.
And you'll get a constant flow of air in that direction.
I understand. And why is that black tank on top of your toilet? If it's a dry toilet, why do you need water?
The black tank's up there because the roof of the toilet is higher than the shower nozzle. So we have a toilet and a shower here.
Yeah, and it was very close, and yeah, I think actually in future this will be a sanitary group.
Yes.
Of the Coliba Verde.
So I'll show you some other stuff on the inside.
And the guitar, it's an important part of the toilet, or?
Depends how long you normally spend on the toilet. So what was I going to say? Oh yeah. So one thing you can't tell from the video, but I can tell you now. We've been shitting in this toilet, and it doesn't smell, even though the lid is open.
Yeah.
It doesn't. I can't smell.
Unfortunately, it's the fact that there's no smell, it doesn't come through the camera. But,
yeah, but
I can see.
I've got my head in this toilet, and it doesn't smell like shit.
Yeah, that's right.
So the reason why it doesn't smell is because when the shit goes in there, it gets dry pretty quickly. And one of the reasons why it gets dry is because, first of all, there's no urine in there, and secondly, every time we use it, we put a little handful of this stuff,
which is sawdust. Yeah.
It's sawdust and ash.
And ash.
You can use sawdust straight, or you can use ash.
Okay.
Or you can use a mixture, just anything that will really, really dry out the shit. So we do that. In a compost toilet, you can often in compost toilets they put the toilet paper in there, but because it's a dry toilet, we put the toilet paper in here and we burn it later. It probably should have a lid, but
yeah.
And we burn it later because the toilet paper probably wouldn't have a chance to decompose. Wouldn't have a chance to decompose in there because it's too dry.
And what's the reason of the lid? It's important.
Yeah, the lid is important for a couple of reasons. One, it stops insects from getting in, because otherwise, the flies would be attracted to the smell, and what small smell there is, the flies would be attracted to it, and you'd get lots of bad stuff in there. And also because you want the chamber to be sealed off so that you get the proper flow of air in through the back, up through the top.
Yes.
What else?
I'm very curious. Why did you put that sun cream? Where we should use it, or why it's on the toilet?
We put the sun cream because I'm a very, very white person.
It's not for the toilet.
No.
I was thinking that it's helping. I don't know.
Well, I don't know. It's an experimental toilet at the end of the day, so we can try it. Oh yeah, this bottle of water. When you shit, you put some sawdust on, sprinkle some sawdust on top.
Good to know that. I thought it's palinka, and you drink in the time when you.
When the toilet's fully operational, there will be one palinka and one water.
Oh, okay.
The palinka will just be for drinking, and the water will be for flushing the urine receptacle. So when you've urinated into the receptacle, you put a small amount of water, just like maybe that kind of quantity, and it just cleans the pipe out.
Okay.
So the pipe doesn't get encrusted with old urine residue. So a couple of things I would mention about this toilet that I wouldn't do again if I built another toilet. One thing, I wouldn't make it so small, because I think that this chamber, this whole thing really should be the size of one chamber, not two. But We changed the design.
Yes,
as we
yes,
went,
it's an experiment, and yeah.
Yeah, so it's better probably the chamber, for one chamber should be about 1 cubic meter, as this one we've got less than half that. Another thing is, because once again we changed the design, and this originally was a pit in the ground.
Yes.
And then we changed it so it's above the ground.
We changed it because all the time the pit, it was full with water coming from the hill, from the forest.
Yeah, and it would have just been, it wouldn't have worked properly.
Yeah.
So because we didn't have much vertical space, we couldn't make it any higher, but ideally the hole wouldn't be so close to the front wall. Ideally the hole would be in the middle.
Yeah.
But we couldn't do that because we don't have enough roof. But if I did it again, I would have a box here which you sit on with a hole in the top, and then where your ass is would be right in the middle. But you know,
Okay.
that's another thing I would do differently. And another thing I would do differently is I just wouldn't make it so fucking crooked.
Yes, but we don't want to be perfect.
No, we don't need it to be perfect.
In this way, people all the time will ask, why do you make it like this? And
but it has some good things too. It has a little window so that when we're
window?
shitting, we can look at
I
the
see
scenery.
those bottles.
Yeah, the bottles are for decoration, and the window is for looking at the scenery.
Ah, here is the window. Aha. And now you are sitting, and
Yeah, now I'm sitting.
and what do you see from the window? Let's see.
Well, from the window,
We will take this pipe.
Normally we would kind of put something across so that not everybody has to witness
Ah, yeah. Anyway,
the glory of me
we will have
my
a
bowel.
door there.
Yeah. What else? Oh yeah. So the toilet also has a green roof. Just because.
About the green roof, I don't really want details because I already write about I write an article.
Right.
But if you want to say something, it's okay. But I write an article about this.
No, not really. If there's already information about it, it just seemed like a good idea to,
Yeah.
to take advantage of the roof space and put some plants on the top.
Yes, and we have already some plants. I don't know if I can. Yeah.
Yeah. What else? Is there anything else? I think that's basically the gist. So the reason why we have two chambers and not just one large chamber is because when you finish using it, when one chamber is full, you need to let it sit for maybe 6 months to fully dry. So maybe it might take the chamber 6 months to fill, depending on how many people are using it.
Yes.
And then generally you'd want to let it stand for another 6 months so it's fully dry. So when this one's drying, you're using this one. And then when this one's full, after probably about 6 months, this one will be ready.
Yes.
So you'd come around the back. You would open this door, and then you would take the soil, which at that stage would now be soil. You would take it out, and you could use it basically like compost, in the same way as compost.
Even in the garden, not just on the the trees.
Yeah, you can use it in the garden too, and it's going to be relatively, in most circumstances, it's going to be just like soil. So that's why we use two. So it's a rotational system.
Okay, and what do you think? We will finish together the walls, or we will see. Maybe other.
Well, if we have time, they still need plastering to make them look nice.
Yeah, we will finish it. If you will not be here, then maybe with some other people at the workshop, then I can show them how to finish the walls.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so, right, they're functional. They just need to be beautified.
Yes. Anyway, it doesn't smell, so it's not a dirty job.
Another thing I should mention, on the water issue, because this particular patch of ground holds a lot of water when it rains. There's a trench around the entire toilet, which is about 15 centimeters deep, and I filled it with broken tiles and just topped it off with sand and gravel. So when the water does drain through the ground, it will come in through this trench, and then it will drain out through this drainage channel and this drainage channel.
Christian, I think it's very important because many people are asking very often about the price and about the materials. And now I'm talking just about the toilet because I know I spent some money for the green roof. Anyway, it wasn't too much, but what do you use for this toilet? How did you build it? Which material, what kind of material do you use?
So the floor of the toilet is soil. The floor of the toilet I dug down about 10 centimeters and filled it with rocks and gravel, and then I put clay on the top, just so that there's no chance that humidity would come up through the floor. So that obviously didn't cost anything.
No, that doesn't cost. For me, it doesn't cost.
The walls are made of, well, obviously 4 posts, which we just found on the land, and I inserted very crookedly. And between each one of the posts, I've put these horizontal pieces spaced about 8 centimeters apart, right up here and right up here, and then this wall is just mud, which is a mixture of clay and sand and straw.
And the bottles is just for fun and for interesting light.
The bottles are just for fun and just, you know, more of the beautification project. What else? So this, obviously, this kind of wood we bought, and the wood for the seats we had to buy.
Ah, yes.
Nails, screws,
yes,
and the green roof. There's some stuff in the green roof which cost money.
Yes, that's right. It's on this toilet actually. What costs money? It was the roof.
Yeah.
And I can say for the people, I spent something like I don't know if it was 200 lei, but anyway, the material which I buy, it was for insulation and the planks, the wood planks, the new wood planks, insulation, and this textile for roots, against roots, and it's important to have it.
Yeah. So and the bags, I don't know how much they cost, but
6 lei.
Right. So we're making some steps here, and we're going to put this across the front here so that you don't see it, and then we're going to put these rocks on the top, so it will be a little bit more beautiful. And yeah, that's it.
Thank you very much, Christian. When I will have the result, I mean the soil, the compost, I will send you some pictures with that on the...
Oh, you won't send me a little sample of it in the mail?
I think it's too far, and maybe something will happen with the soil in the road, so just picture, okay?
Right. Well, yeah, I look forward to hearing how it goes.
Christian, thank you very much.
My pleasure.